You're standing there, waiting. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes, then 10. The text comes in, almost there. But you know it's a lie. Your thoughts start getting louder. The anger starts to rise. They don't respect my time. They don't care. And honestly, that feeling makes sense. But here's the harsh psychological truth. Most people who are chronically late aren't trying to be rude. In fact, many of them hate being late. They feel guilt. They feel stress. They promise themselves they'll change. Yet they repeat the same behavior over and over, not because they don't care, but because they're trapped inside a psychological loop they don't understand. Some people arrive early, some arrive exactly on time, and some almost never do. We label it laziness, disrespect, poor character, but psychology tells a much deeper story. In this video, we're breaking down the psychology of people who don't keep time, what their behavior actually reveals about attention, perception, emotion, culture, and control. This isn't about judgment, it's about understanding what time behavior truly means. Time perception is not universal. Here's the first truth most people miss. We have to understand that time perception is not universal. Some people live by clock time. Other people live by event time. Psychologists divide the world into two groups. Group A lives in clock time. Time is linear, segmented, and precise. 2 p.m. means 2 p.m. Group B lives in event time. Time is fluid. It is measured by tasks and emotions. For these people, you don't leave a conversation because a clock hand's moved. You leave when the conversation is done. To a clock person, the event person looks chaotic. To an event person, the clock person looks robotic. It's not just a bad habit, it's a different operating system. Present biased minds. For some minds, now is stronger than later. Psychology calls this present bias. The brain prioritizes what feels good or engaging in the moment, while future consequences feel distant and unreal. That's why someone at an event keeps saying, "I'll leave in a minute. I'm leaving now. Just one more thing." And suddenly, it's an hour later. They weren't lying. Their brain genuinely believed they still had time. Present biased minds don't disrespect the future. They underestimate it. Time blindness and attention. For some people, time doesn't just feel flexible, it disappears. This is known as time blindness. When deeply focused, getting ready, checking messages, working, scrolling, their internal clock shuts down. Most people feel 5 minutes passing. Time-blind minds don't. To them, there are only two times, now and not now. They enter flow states where temporal reality collapses. This is common in creative thinkers, deep processors, and people with attention regulation differences. They aren't ignoring the clock. Their brain simply doesn't hear it. Emotional stress, avoidance, and emotional load. Sometimes lateness isn't about time at all. It's about emotion. Uncomfortable meetings, difficult conversations, performance pressure. The body resists before the mind explains. Delay becomes a form of emotional avoidance. They're not running late, they're running from discomfort. Autonomy and control signaling. Here's a darker truth. For some people, lateness unconsciously becomes a power move. Arriving late shifts the dynamic. The room waits. Attention shifts. This isn't always intentional, but psychologically, time becomes a tool to reclaim control or resist authority. Lateness in this case isn't disorganization, it's autonomy negotiating itself. Cultural time orientation. Time also carries cultural meaning. Some cultures treat time as rigid and precise. Others treat time as flexible and relational. In some places, arriving on time means arriving when the connection feels right. What looks like disrespect in one culture may signal warmth or adaptability in another. Psychology without context is incomplete. 7. Optimism bias and the planning fallacy. This one is brutal and common. Many late people don't calculate time realistically. They calculate it in a perfect world. Drive to work, 20 minutes. But reality adds finding keys, walking to the car, traffic, parking. Suddenly it's 35 minutes. This is called the planning fallacy. They aren't lying to you, they're lying to themselves. Their brain edits reality to stay optimistic, and optimism costs them time. They mentally delete the obstacles before they even happen. 8. Personality and the adrenaline mind. Certain personalities struggle with time more than others. High creativity, low structure, strong emotional reactivity, high social engagement. These minds prioritize flow over schedules. Some even become addicted to the rush. They can't move until pressure hits. Leaving the house early feels boring to their brain. It offers no dopamine. They subconsciously wait until the situation is critical because the spike of fear, the panic of being late, creates adrenaline, is the only thing that gives them the energy to move. They are manufacturing a crisis just to feel motivation. 3. The reluctant transitioner. For others, the problem isn't the destination, it's the switch. Stopping what they're doing feels painful, even if it's just scrolling. Psychology follows inertia. A mind at rest stays at rest. Task switching costs mental energy. They're not late because they don't want to see you. They're late because the psychological effort required to stop what they are doing and switch tasks is painful. The transition cost is too high, so they delay the switch until they are forced to move. 10. The shame cycle, why it never changes. And finally, the saddest part of the pattern, the shame cycle. This cycle traps them. They arrive late, they feel guilty, they promise to do better. Then anxiety builds before the next event. And what do humans do when they are anxious? They avoid. Avoidance causes lateness. They avoid getting ready because just thinking about the schedule hurts, which makes them late again. Ironically, the guilt of being late often creates the anxiety that causes more lateness or the next delay. Here's the final truth. Lateness is rarely personal. It's a battle between perception and reality. Timekeeping isn't just a habit, it's a psychological expression. It reflects how someone experiences urgency, control, emotion, culture, and responsibility. If you are the late one, stop planning for the best-case scenario. You do not live in a perfect world. If you are the one waiting, stop taking it as a personal insult. It is rarely about you. It is a deficit in their executive function. The next time someone is late, or you are, ask not why they don't care, but how their mind experiences time. If this video made you rethink how you see lateness, subscribe for more psychology that explains behavior without judgment.